Hello, I'm Mussachio, and I want to thank you for coming to my website and or my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk to you about negative or worrisome thoughts and what happens when you have them and what you can do to combat that. Now, when you have a negative thought or a worry, what I see from an energy perspective is you'll have one thought, okay? You have a thought in your head. Now, it goes down into your body, your entire body, with billions of other thoughts that are feeding that one. Okay, so just don't think it's just that one little thought. All right, now what I see from a point of going up is you have that thought and there is this energy that goes up. And this happens really fast. I will see a small area that is a void. But as that energy is going up, I see the sky, the universe, or whatever you want to call it, start to spin. Okay, what it's doing is it's looking for a similar thought pattern or an energy field, whatever you want to call it. And it finds it immediately. Now, when it finds it, it's just coming in from everyone in the world that is having a very similar thought, okay, because everything has an energy to it. So picture that thought, that worrisome, that negative thought, I don't have enough. You have that, and all of a sudden that goes up, and now it connects in with the world's, everyone in the world that's having that same thought energy. And now that little void that was there is now null, because what it does is connects into that, and it now starts to download into your body. So if you ever had a negative thought or something starts to happen to you, you're like, oh, why me? This is always happening. That, okay, what you're doing is you're putting that out and you keep connecting to it, so it has to keep coming to you. Did you ever hear that like attracts like? So it's that same perspective. Now what happens is when that comes in, what I see from an energy perspective is all of a sudden you had that one thought. Now you are engulfed in this energy field that you are now in this downward spiral of continually having more things like that happen to you. Okay, if you're thinking I don't have enough, all of a sudden things are going to start to happen where you don't have enough. So if, let's say all of a sudden somebody gave you money, or you got you had more overtime, so you've got a bigger paycheck, and you're like, oh great. Well, what happens is because you're the energy field or the thought process in your system is I don't have enough, all of a sudden your car breaks down or some big bill comes in that you weren't expecting. Something happens because it has to abide by what you're thinking. And you're thinking, I don't have enough. Okay, so what you can do to combat that is when you have that thought, or even if afterwards you're thinking about it and you're like, oh man, I was really into a negative place back then, because the minute you think about that, you tap into that. So the minute you think it, I want you to think to yourself, cancel. I replace this with the opposite. Now, a lot of times I say to people, it's the intention, do what words you want to do. This one I'm very specific about. This one is cancel, I replace it with the opposite. And why? Thank you. I always follow that with thank you because you want to magnify that. So cancel, I replace this with the opposite, thank you. What that does is the minute you think cancel, even if it's after the fact, okay, the minute you think cancel, what I do is I see that energy that was going up now dissipates. It just dissipates like dust particles in the air. It's got nothing on it. Now, so when it goes up and it dissipates, now that sky, the universe, whatever it is you want to call it, was spinning around to connect into you, there's nothing to spin and find anything to because you've canceled that particular thought. When you say, I replace this with the opposite, what I see happen is that one thought flips over to the opposite, and all the billions throughout your entire body flips over to the opposite. So you don't have to know what the opposite is. And a lot of times we don't know what the opposite is. If we're sitting there into that field of not having enough, that's coming in for some time. You've probably had that in one fashion or another playing its role somewhere. So you've got that whole thing, you're canceling, you're replacing with the opposite, then you're saying thank you, which magnifies that, beforehand. Any worrisome thoughts, any negative thoughts, start to do that. You will be amazed at what starts to happen. Okay, any questions, any comments, please let me know. Shoot me an email. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous time creating your day, and I'm sending you love today and always.